Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Not Your Average Fangirl.
I'm your host, Addison.
And I'm your host, Grace.
And if you guys didn't know, this weekend before last, I think now, was it? Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
2 weekends.
went to the Supernatural convention in Jacksonville and I met the cast of Supernatural, including Jensen, Jared, and Misha, and a few others. So in today's episode, we're basically going to be talking about my experience and meeting all of
Yes.
them and
And since
all of
I
that.
wasn't there, I am going to be kind of interviewing Addi, and she's going to give me all the tea and all the details, and you guys the details as well. Previously on Not Your Average Fangirl.
Okay, so I think I said this last week, but I started rewatching Grey's Anatomy and I'm on like season 2 now, I think. And I'm still rewatching Gilmore Girls. I like watched another like 2 episodes, I think, but I'm just struggling with the annoying storylines that are happening right now. So, yeah, that's pretty much still the same.
Yeah, I've kind of like, I haven't been watching Gilmore Girls as much. I mean, I'm still in the process of watching it, but I'm like picking up on my Supernatural watching, and I'm watching Vampire Diaries again. I picked up at season 4, so I'm on season 4 of Vampire Diaries right now. So I'm watching those 2 shows. And for music, I feel like it's the same as always. So much Lana, Young Girls by Bruno Mars still. Nothing really new has like looped in for me.
Yeah, same. Still 1989 Taylor's version. I've been listening to Guts a little bit again because I feel like, I don't know, I just like was listening to Guts nonstop and then all of a sudden I just like completely stopped. So I'm trying to do that, learn all the songs on Guts still. And then obviously, like I said last week, I found that playlist that's got like the vault tracks from all of Taylor's version albums. And I've still been listening to that playlist. It's bomb. And of course, our fall playlist. So
Yes, the fall playlist always. I think we have to make a Christmas one soon.
oh my gosh, we definitely will have to make a
Yes,
Christmas
we'll make a
one.
Christmas like holiday playlist since the
Yes.
holidays are coming.
And then neither of us watched any movies. Is anyone surprised? No. So we're skipping movies.
I need to pick up on my movie game. Like I have a list of movies I want to watch. I just like don't watch them. So.
Yeah, I really want to watch. What was this movie? I like just saw a thing about it and I was like, oh my god, I want to watch that. Oh, I want to watch The Other Zoe.
Same.
Okay, but I want to watch it because it has Archie Renault in it. I think that's how you say his last name. I don't know, but he's from Shadow and Bone, and I love him so much. So I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I
no,
just like
2
need to sit
different
down and
people
watch
have
it.
said it to me that like I need to watch it. I don't know if it's out in
Yeah.
theaters yet, but my friend was like, "Oh, I watched it on an illegal website." So.
It's out in like some theaters, I thought, and then like on some streaming platform, whatever place like made it. It's there. And then for books for me, I right now I'm reading Mr. Fixer Upper by Lucy Score, and I've never read a Lucy Score book because I didn't really think it would be my cup of tea, but the back of the book sounded really interesting. It's like they're on like an HGTV TV show.
I love
Like a
HGTV.
fixer upper. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I have to give it a try. And I thought it would be a good tester to figure out if I liked her books or not. So I'm like a little over halfway through it. And then I'm still reading All In, which is the last book in the Natural series. But I just needed a break from that because I feel like I was like so immersed in that series. I needed to like step back for a second.
Yeah.
So that's it for books.
All right, so I guess we're just going to get right into it. As I said earlier, I'm kind of going to be interviewing Addi, and we're going to find out all the details about the Supernatural convention. So the first question I want to ask is pretty general. So how was the convention as a whole?
It was really amazing. The cast of Supernatural is just like so fun. Like I didn't really like, other than videos and stuff, I didn't really know what to expect with them, but they were all like super funny. And I don't know, it was set up in a way that ran really smoothly. So as a whole, it was like a 10 out of 10 experience, 11 out of 10
Yes, that's so good. I want to go to one now. Like, even though I've only like watched season 1 of Supernatural, like I've always seen posts of like the convention and stuff, and now I want to go.
Yeah. The only thing was I was really excited for like the vendors to have like Supernatural merch and stuff, but I don't think I bought anything. I was so sad. I wanted like a hoodie or something, but there just wasn't a lot of stuff that like was up my alley. And whatever was like, there was like a few things that were really cute, but they were just like way overpriced. And I was like,
Yeah,
I just can't bring myself to do that. But that was the only letdown, was the merch and stuff. But other than
were
that,
there a lot of
it was
vendors
amazing.
there? Like, were they all
There
selling the same
were.
stuff?
No, I mean, they were selling different stuff, and there were a lot of them. It was just like, I don't know. I was sad because I was like ready to
That
like
stinks.
get something, you know? Like I was going in like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a hoodie or something, and there was just
Well, maybe
nothing.
next time. You never
Yeah.
know. All right, so next question we have is, how did you feel before meeting Misha and then Jensen and Jared?
Yeah, so I met Misha first, so I'm gonna start with him. But I was like so nervous because it was my first time meeting like any of like the main Supernatural cast, and I was like the nerves were already building up for meeting Jensen because like knowing that I was gonna meet him like pretty
Yeah.
quickly after. So I was like very nervous because I love Misha too. Like he's amazing, and he's just like I feel like the easiest way to describe him is like a giant teddy bear. So luckily, like he's not intimidating,
Yeah,
and I
he
wasn't
looks
like
so
scared in
cute.
that kind of way. I was just like so excited. I wasn't like I was nervous, but I was more excited than nervous. Whereas like with Jensen and Jared, I
Yeah.
was like very nervous.
You got to act your best in front of them. I mean,
Yeah. Before meeting Jensen and Jared, because I met them at the same time, because it was for the picture I got with them and then with Baby.
Mhm.
And it was outside. So like if you walked across the street, you could like kind of see them. And I
Yeah.
just like I knew that I would needed to like lay eyes on them when I wasn't standing right in front of them. I was gonna lose my crap.
Yeah.
And so we walked across the street and I like laid eyes on like the back of Jensen's hair and I was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm not okay." And I like immediately like my eyes started watering.
Yeah.
And so we walked back over to get back in line and I was just like my leg was like tapping the ground like really fast and I was like every like 3 seconds I would start to cry and then I would have to like stop. I'm like
Yeah.
as soon as my eyes started watering I was like, "No. No. Not yet. Not not yet." The people like around us in line and stuff were laughing, and I was like, "This is serious. This is
It's
serious."
serious business.
And my mom was like, "Do you want me to hug you?" And I'm like, "No. If you hug me, I will start bawling immediately. Stay away from me."
No, literally, I feel like if I saw them in person, like just standing in the distance, I would like be like, because they're so like, I feel like they're both like tall and like they're both gorgeous and like it's
Yeah,
kind of intimidating.
they're like these giant, gorgeous male models, and they're just like like, and I'm 5'2" for reference, and
Yeah.
Jared's like 6'3" or 6'4" or
Yeah,
something.
he looks
So
ginormous.
yeah. So you can imagine how standing in front of them was. But
Yeah.
basically, I was just like very much freaking out. I was, like I said, I was more excited for Misha and I was just very nervous because, like, all of the emotions of like laying eyes on Jensen, it's like, I'm excited, but also I need to go throw up.
Yeah.
So I was just, it was just freaking out in
I
general. I
know
feel
that
like,
feeling.
yeah, fangirling.
Yeah. So, what did you feel like after you met them? Like, describe that.
After like when I held it together and I didn't cry when I met them, and then as soon as like I wasn't even like 3 steps away from them yet, as soon as I turned my back to them, I started crying, like I started bawling. And
Yeah.
I was like, "It's okay cuz I can fix my makeup after this." Which is actually a funny story. I forgot to bring like my concealer and my beauty blender. So my dad had to run to CVS and bring us makeup so I could touch up my under eyes because I'd cried so much after.
It's an essential. Like, I feel like if you're going to these conventions and like you know you're gonna meet someone big, like you have to carry the makeup on you. Like,
Yes.
obviously this time you forgot, but like for anyone going to conventions, like definitely bring some spare makeup because
Yeah.
you might
It's a
cry it
lifesaver.
off.
It's a lifesaver, especially if you have more than one photo op and it's like
Yeah. So, did anyone in the cast like really surprise you, like in any way, like that you met there?
I would say I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. So the guy, oh shoot, I can't say the name of the characters because I can't spoil anything for you. But there's one guy. His name is Jake Abel, and he, like, I'd heard people rave about him, but in person he was just really funny and like charismatic.
Charismatic.
That's the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, he just had great energy, and he was like so like fun and like he was really cute too.
Yeah.
I didn't
Ooh.
really think he was that cute in the show, but in person I was like, "Oh, he's so cute. I love
Yeah.
it."
I feel like
Yeah.
that's the thing with some people, like, you see them on screen and then in person, like, they're so funny and, like, you would never expect that. Like, it's so different seeing them through the screen and then seeing them in person.
Yeah.
It shocks me every time. This is a question I feel like I ask, and I get this question asked a lot. What did they smell like? Specifically Jensen, because I know he's your favorite, but what do they smell like? Please.
This is always so hard because I feel like I always black out when I'm like actually meeting them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, starting with Misha, I don't remember what Misha had smelled like, but his shirt was really soft. Like when I hugged him, I was like, he's so soft. Like
Green
I don't know
flag.
what I don't know what material the shirt was, but it was just like so soft. I don't
I
know.
love
That
that.
was like the thing that stuck out in my memory.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to think. I don't really remember what Jensen smelled like. I honestly no clue.
Yeah,
No clue.
like,
I could
I try
It's
to
so hard for
remember
me
the
to remember.
smells.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
hard to
hard for me to
remember.
remember.
That was
And
like,
like
no.
I'm not usually taking a big whiff when I'm like hugging them or whatever, you know?
No, that's the thing when people ask, 'cause people, like, expect you to be like, you smell
Yeah.
scrumptious." Like, when you're going into the line at a convention, I feel like you're just so excited or nervous and, like, you're very overstimulated that you're not focusing on what they smell
Yeah.
like, you're
Like,
focusing on looking at the person.
I don't even know that I could smell at that exact moment in time, okay? Like, my emotions were, like, so much in overdrive that all my other
Uh-huh.
senses, like, kicked off or
Exactly, they
something.
just shut off. That's
And
so
I feel like
real.
the only time you remember what someone smells like is when you're hugging them, and I didn't hug anyone except Misha. Like, Jensen, my picture was, like, a hug from behind, so, like, I didn't have my nose, like, that close to him, you know? And Jared, my picture also wasn't, and then the picture with both of them still wasn't, so I didn't get a whiff, you
Yeah.
know? Like, sorry,
Maybe
guys.
next time you'll get a good
Maybe next
whiff.
time. I just need to put, like, a
Um,
reminder in my phone so that I remember because I never am thinking about it when I'm about to
whiff.
meet them. Yeah.
Whiff Jensen and Jared.
Take a sniff.
Anyways, moving on to the next question. Did you have, like, a favorite panel from the convention and, like, or, like, a favorite moment from the panels?
Okay, so definitely my favorite panel was Jensen and Jared. They're
Of
just, like,
course.
so funny, and you can tell that they just, like, know each other so well. It's like watching two best friends, like, with, like, an inside joke or something, like, the way they, like, act and the little
Yeah.
bits that they do and stuff, and, like, I feel like some of it, like, you wouldn't even guess was a bit, but, like, just the way that they, like, can guess what each other's about to say, like, you can tell that it is.
Yeah.
And they're just, like, so funny, and honorable mention would be Mark Shepard's panel. His panel was so great. He's really funny. I feel like his humor was very similar to Daniel's in a way, and I liked that he actually got off the stage, and so while he was answering questions, he was, like, walking around in the crowd, and, like, there
I
was a
love
moment where he
that.
stood right next to me, like, in my chair. I was sitting down, and he just walked up and stood right next to me for, like, a few minutes while he was answering a question, and he, like, would walk up to people, like, when they were asking questions and stuff, and I just thought it was really cool that he did that.
No, I really like when, the actors do that because then everyone, like, around, like, gets so excited. I think it's
Yeah.
very cute.
Favorite moment? Okay, on Jensen and Jared's panel, this one thing happened that was so funny. So, someone had asked a question, and their question was, "When you eat a taco, which way do you tilt your head?" Because you know, like, you're holding the taco. Do you tilt your head to the left to take a bite or to the right? And
Oh,
so they're
wait.
both, like, up there, like, tilting their heads, trying to figure out which way they tilt when they're
That
eating the
is
taco.
hilarious.
And
Okay,
then
I'm trying to figure it out now.
yeah. So Jared said that it's to the right. Well, okay, it depends on what handed you are. Like if you're right-handed, you're holding the taco with your right hand, so you're gonna tilt your head to the left. If you're
Yes,
left-handed,
that's
you're holding with your
correct.
left, so you're gonna tilt your head to the right. Jensen answered, and then he goes, "Same for kissing." And then Jared goes, "Prove it." And then they lean towards each other like they're gonna kiss.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
And then they, like, swerve their heads, and it was the funniest thing ever. I was, like, cracking up. Like, the way that just, like, without hesitation, they just both, like, turn towards each other and go, "Mm."
That is so funny. Continuing on with the panels, did you ask any questions?
I did actually. So this was, like, I think I've only ever asked a question on a panel, like, one time, and it was a smaller panel back in, like, October. Which is funny because I do interviews every time, and I'm always asking questions, but, like, for some reason, I was so
Yeah.
nervous to ask a question, like, in front of everyone, especially to someone, like, I'd never met in the same way that I have, like, the TVD people, you know?
Mhm.
For Supernatural, basically, if you wanna ask a question for Misha's panel or Jensen and Jared's panel, you have to, like, put your name on a slip and put it into, like, this bag that they draw from, and so
Oh.
me and my mom both put our names in for both panels because, like, there was no way to know, and we neither of us got picked for Jensen and Jared's panel, but we both got picked for Misha's panel. Okay, but it was stressing me out because I didn't expect to get picked for his, and I only had a question prepared for Jensen and Jared's panel. So I was like, oh my
Oh,
God, like I didn't know what to ask, and we were like waiting in line, and I was like the third person or something, so I didn't have a lot of time to like figure it out. But I'm trying to think of what I asked him. Oh, I asked him what songs he had like on repeat right now. And
that's a good
it's
one.
so it's so scary because the person before me on the other side of the stage, like their question was really short. Like normally like the actor and the person will like talk for a while. Like it'll go back and forth
Mhm.
for a minute. And so I was like waiting, and the question had ended really suddenly, and he was already walking to our side of the stage. And me and the person who like holds the microphone up to you, like we're talking, and we didn't realize that he was already walking over. So it was like terrifying. Like all of a sudden he's like,
Yeah.
hi. And we both look up and I'm like I needed a second to take a deep breath before or something, you know? So I was like
Oh,
caught
yeah.
off guard.
I've never asked a question on a panel either, so I feel like I'd be, like, super nervous, especially if I didn't, like, have a question planned.
Yeah, it's really intimidating. Like some people can do it really easily, but it just stressed me out for some reason. But he's so funny and he's so nice, so it worked out. And it ended with us talking about Taylor Swift and Harry Styles.
That's perfect.
So I think I have a video of it, so I need to post it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Stay
did ask
tuned
a
for that
question.
video. Okay, so what were your, like, individual interactions with Jensen like?
Okay, so I'm trying to think for like the car, which was like my first photo. Like I said, again, I was so struck that time. So like I walked up to them and I kind of like explained like the photo I wanted, and I was just like frozen. So like nothing. I didn't even really have like an interaction that time because I was just so
Yeah.
like freaked out. But then my solo photo op with him, I so there was like a funny story that happened that we'll talk about in a minute. But when I walked up, I like made a joke about it and he laughed. And so the thing about Jensen is he like almost always makes the exact same face in photo ops. Like I don't even know if it's intentional, but he just always makes the same little like smile face.
Yeah.
And I guess that he liked my joke enough to like do like an open mouth smile in the picture. So I was very happy about that.
That's so good.
Oh my gosh. Also, after the car picture, I think he could tell that I was like really like freaked out. And when I was walking away, he like rubbed my back. And I literally like
Ooh-wee.
I was like, I'm already crying. This is not.
No, I love when that happens. It's just like a little extra something.
Yeah, I appreciated it.
Yeah.
And then autographs. So like I walked up and the person before me had been like talking a lot. So he was like kind of looking down at my item already when I walked up. And so I didn't get like the normal like, hi, hello, how are you? But when he looked up at me and he realized it was me, because I think he recognized me from my joke earlier and the little thing that happened,
Oh,
he looked like with his head down while he was like signing my shoe. He looked up at me with just his eyes and he winked directly
you're
at me
kidding.
into my soul. He winked, and then I literally like I think my jaw dropped. Like I think my mouth actually opened a little bit, and I was like, and then I walked away, and I like again I started crying again because I was like, oh my god, he just
Oh my
winked at me.
gosh.
And my mom had been like standing behind me a little bit, and she was like, I'm counting that as he winked at me too because that was a surreal experience.
That's insane. Like, oh, he's so beautiful. Imagine, like, I can't imagine him winking at me.
I was like,
You're so
Dean
lucky.
Dean Winchester just looked up at me and winked. That was like I don't think I'm ever gonna recover from that. I can still see it perfectly in my mind. Like I can visualize it. Like it's like a part of my brain now.
I love that. You're
Anyway,
gonna
yeah.
remember that forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was probably like the highlight was him winking at me.
Oh, for sure. What were your interactions like with Jared?
With Jared it was pretty much just like the car picture and he was like he made a really funny face in my car picture because like I asked him to look annoyed and so he made like a like
Yeah.
sorry, if you're listening to it on Spotify, you can't see the face I just made or on Apple Podcasts. But he made like a really funny face. It's on Instagram and TikTok if you want to go look at it. But and then I actually ended up getting a solo picture with him that I didn't originally plan to get, but he was just so funny and like he's one of the actors that like you see online and you're like, "Oh, like he seems like a really great guy." And then you meet him in person and it's like, "Oh my gosh, like he's
Yeah.
amazing." you know, and so I was like, I need a picture with him, like, it's just gotta happen, so and then I did a funny pose for my photo op with him, which I don't think I've posted yet, but it's really funny.
Yeah, I
It's just,
haven't
like
seen it either, I don't think.
autographs is where I got, like, the most interaction with him, so I brought my, like, painted custom Supernatural shoes, and that's what I was having him sign, and so when I gave it to, like, the person at his autograph table to, like, hand to him, they were, like, talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, this is, like, such a cute, like, thing to have signed, like, this is so
Mm.
cute, like, where'd you get this?" And so I was, like, talking to the girl, and then she handed it to him, and he was like, "Oh, these are so sick, where do you get these?" Or, like, "Did someone make them or paint them or, like, what?" And so I was talking to him about it. He said, "Can I have this? What size is it?" And I'm like, "It's like a children's 5." And anyways, it was really funny. And then I was holding my, like, little mini Jensen cardboard cutout, and he was like, "Oh, and where'd you get the larger than life size Jensen?" And so we were laughing about that, and it was funny, but again, like, he's really, like, outgoing and funny and, like, goofy.
Yeah,
He's very goofy.
gotta love that.
So,
It makes it, like, easier to talk to them too.
yeah.
And lastly, what were your interactions like with Misha? We can't forget Misha.
My photo op with Misha, when I, like, walked up, like, I knew, like I said, he's like a giant teddy bear, like, that's how I see him. My pose for him was the easiest one to pick out because I didn't need to think about it. I was like, "I'm gonna do, like, just a giant bear hug." And so when I walked up and you ask for your pose, I was like, "Can I just have, like, a giant bear hug?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he hugged me and he, like, squeezed me, and he was just so nice. I don't know. Like I said, his shirt was really soft, so I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
that's good.
And then, like I said, I asked him a question on his panel, and again, he's just, like, so, like, funny and goofy, and his whole panel was so funny, like, I don't think I emphasized it enough how funny it was, like, it was I don't even think I mentioned his panel other than, like, that I asked a question, like I said,
Mhm.
Jensen and Jared was my favorite, and then I also enjoyed Mark Shepard's, but he's so funny, like, his humor, I understand, like, it's just but I was laughing so hard the entire time,
That's
and
good.
I'm trying to think autographs. I don't think anything really happened in autographs. He was really nice, but
Perfect. That's all we need. All right. So before you were mentioning that story that you and Jensen were laughing about, so I think we need an explanation of what that is.
so basically, after my photo op with Jensen and Jared in the car, which, like I said, was my first one, I was crying, and, like, I'd walk by another fan actually who was also crying, and her mom was like, "See, she's crying too, it's fine." And I was like, "We're in this together, sister." And it was funny. And so, like, I'm still crying because I'd kind of, like, hung out in the lobby for a minute, like, just chilling before we walked back over to the elevators. And it was funny, as we were walking over the elevators, my mom was like, "I wonder where they get brought back inside." And we just, like, kept walking and kept talking, and we go, and some, like, worker at the hotel had walked up and pressed the button and then walked away. And so we were like, "Okay." And so we go and the door opens up and we go and get in the elevator, and then all of a sudden we're standing there. I have, like, a tissue in my hand, and I'm standing there, like, in shock, still crying, and all of a sudden, 4 people walk in front of us. It's Jensen, Jared, and their handlers just standing right in front of us, and we're like
What?
I I was just in shock. I'm like, "What j oh my god, like, why are they standing in front of us right now?" Because I wasn't expecting to see them again, you know, like, that
Yeah.
soon, so I was just not prepared, and they're standing there, and they're, like, just walking by talking and stuff, and, Jensen goes, "I think you guys stole our elevator, but it's okay."
Oh my gosh.
And then the doors start to close, and Jared goes and he, like, sticks his head up, like, where the doors are, like, sticks his head out from his body, and he's like, "It's fine," and, in, like, a really loud voice, and then the doors close, and we're all just standing in the elevator like, "Oh my god, what just happened?"
Wait, so they didn't actually get in the elevator?
No, because they go, like, on a separate elevator by
Yeah,
themselves,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was so funny, and I was just, like, absolutely shook. I was like, "What are the chances of that happening?" Like, the timing had to be so perfect in order for that to have
Literally.
happened, but
It was meant to happen. Like, everything happens for a reason. And the fact that you
yeah.
ran into them again, like, that's
Yeah, and then, like,
crazy.
right after I FaceTimed Grace, and I was like, you will not believe what just happened."
I was shocked, like, my jaw dropped because, like, what are the odds, like, that you see them
Yeah.
again? It's just like another shocker.
Yeah, and then so what I said in the photo op, I was like, "Yeah, sorry for stealing your elevator earlier," and that's why we were laughing, and it was funny. So that's what I said
Yeah.
basically. But yeah, crazy, crazy experience. I still can't even believe it, because at TVD and stuff, I see the cast behind the scenes a little bit more because of the interviews and stuff.
Mhm.
But at Supernatural, I wasn't expecting to have any of that, and then
Yeah, it's
for them to
different.
just walk in front of us and make a joke, I was like, "What?
What just happened?
I'm sorry." No.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Repeat? So, to go along with the convention, were there any, evening events or, just events that, they threw?
They do a karaoke, and then they do a concert because the guy who plays Chuck is in a band, and so they do a little concert one night, and then another night they do karaoke. And sometimes Jensen will show up to karaoke, and sometimes he'll show up to the concert and he'll sing. And I've seen videos of him singing, and okay, I love Jensen's voice. It's so deep and gravelly, and he just has such a nice
It's so
voice.
good.
And so when he sings, it's literally magical. And so I like watching videos of him sing. That was my one goal for the weekend. I was like, I just want to hear him
Yeah.
sing in person. And so we were like, should we go to karaoke? We were planning on going to the concert, but by the end of the night, we were just really tired. And
Yeah.
usually, if he goes to one, there's a specific reason, or the fans that go to a bunch of the conventions are able to tell in advance if he's going to go or not, just based off of if it's a special
Yeah.
event or if it's somebody's birthday or something. But according to them, there wasn't a big chance, and so we didn't end up going, which is okay because he didn't go. But then the next day at their panel, at the end of the panel, he sang a funny little thing about the person who's asking the last question. He was singing about the last question. And then after that, he sang an actual part of a song. And I
Oh
was
my goodness.
so happy. I was so happy. Oh my gosh. And I got a
So you
video of
got to
it.
hear him sing?
I got to hear him sing. I was
I love
so
that.
happy. And me and my mom were sitting in different spots because I had a silver pass and she had GA. And during Jensen and Jared's panel, it really fills up. So she couldn't sit next to me.
Yeah.
And she was just texting me the entire panel. She'd be like, Jensen looks so hot right now. Or she'd be like, oh my God, he's singing.
Classic.
Oh, this is off topic. I'm talking about panels again. But Jared always sits in his chairs backward. And I thought it was so funny because I was watching Supernatural with my dad today, and Sam goes to sit in a chair, and you know what he does? He turns it around before he sits down.
Oh
And I
my
was
god,
like,
that's
that's so
probably
funny
why
because
he does it.
he still sits that way. But yeah, I just had to mention that. Anyway,
Yeah.
yay, I got to hear him sing.
Yay! I think you may have already mentioned this before, but what was your favorite part of the entire convention? Was it Jensen winking at you?
I feel like that might be the high point. The wink was really great. It was really great.
It was really great.
Yeah. Honestly, just the entire cast, they exceeded my expectations. They were all so just nice and caring and, like I said, outgoing and funny. They were all so funny. There was not a single panel that I didn't laugh the entire time.
Oh,
So,
I love that. That's so good to hear.
yeah.
So I feel like I know the answer to this. Would you recommend going to a supernatural convention?
Absolutely. I think
Yes.
even with Supernatural, they go to so many different cities over a year. It's like a tour basically. And so if they come to your town, even if you can't do photo ops or autographs or whatever or get a pass, honestly just buying GA gets you access to the panels, and just going 3 days and sitting and watching the panels all day would be totally worth it because they're so much fun to watch and they're all so funny. It's definitely worth it, and I would definitely recommend doing it.
Yes. Well, I think I'm definitely going to go to one. I mean, I want to finish more of the show, but
Yeah.
I'm putting that
I
on
was
my bucket list.
I was so happy because I was really worried for my mom because she's only on season 10, and I at TVD they talk about stuff that happens in the ending a lot.
Yeah.
We talk about the finale and stuff a lot. And I was so worried that someone was going to say something and spoil something for her, but it didn't happen. We watched all the panels and nobody mentioned anything about the finale or anything like that. And I was so happy. I was like, yes, because I would have been
That's
so sad if someone
perfect.
spoiled it for her, but yay.
Yay.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode and you enjoyed listening to me talk about how much I love Jensen Ackles for
Yes.
30 minutes.
Yes. Period. If you want to see more of the pictures that Addi has from the convention, she posted the one of her, Jared, and Jensen. So go check that out. Panel
I
videos
actually,
coming?
Panel videos, yes. I need to post the
Yeah.
video from Misha's panel. And I finally, so like at creation conventions, you don't get like the digital copies of the pictures unless you pay for them. And once you pay for them, it takes like a few days for them to come through. So I'm finally have all of the digital photos. So I'm going to be posting them
Yay.
like as regular pictures and not just like in the background of like TikToks or whatever. So
Perfect.
if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's addi.asks and they'll all be posted there soon. So, and then my TikTok is Addison.Brienne and Grace.
Yeah, and my TikTok and Instagram is Live Love Ian Somerhalder.
And the podcast, I keep hitting my chin on this. Anyways, and the podcast is Not Your Average Fangirl.pod on Instagram and TikTok, I believe. So go check it out.
Go check it out. All right. And that's the end of this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed. And
we hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.